in education. Curriculum, as we all know, was a vital component of the education process. It is not just collection of subjects, but the totality of experiences that are provided to students in the educational process. The session 1 of the summit, titled Reconceptualizing the Curriculum, Fusion of Competencies and Knowledge for Revolutionary Educational Enhancement, will explore the dynamic fusion of competencies and knowledge in envisioning a curriculum that not only equips students with essential skills but also ignites their passion for lifelong learning and discovery. It is an honor for me to introduce our esteemed resource person for today's session, Professor Anil Kumar K. With a master's and doctoral degree in education, along with diplomas in educational and vocational guidance and distance education, Professor Anil Kumar brings a wealth of expertise to the table. Currently serving as a professor of education at the NCERT and stationed at the Regional Institute of Education, Mysore, Professor Anil Kumar has made significant contributions to the field of education. His extensive experience includes collaborations with the prestigious national organizations such as the NCERT, NUEPA, and IGNOU. With 3 authored books and over 30 research articles in reputed international and national journals, Professor Anil Kumar's global impact in education is profound. As the coordinator for various educational programs, including the International Diploma Course in Guidance and Counseling, Professor Anil Kumar is dedicated to nurturing the next generation of educators and counselors. With his areas of interest spanning teacher education, guidance and counseling, and learner assessment and evaluation, Professor Anil Kumar's insight promised to enrich our understanding and shape the discourse on national enhancement. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Professor Anil Kumar K. I invite Dr. Mary Jacob, Educators Meet Coordinator, to present the resource person with a plant as a token of our welcome. Thank you, ma'am. The session is open for Anil Kumar, sir. Over to you, sir.
A warm good morning to all of you. I think you are near about 100 or more than 100. It's a good group. I think at the outset I would like to thank the principal, Father Dr. Augustine George, principal of this college, and also Dr. Aloysius Edward, Director of IQAC and Dean Faculty of Commerce, Dr. Nagendra, and other organizing team members for giving me a chance to address you people on this national summit. I think this is the 6th or 7th summit. 9th summit. The college is organizing, and I think it is a proud moment for all of you that they are also celebrating the 25th year of establishment, Golden Jubilee. This juncture, as I got an opportunity to address, I feel that I am proud to be with you all. My topic given to me is that related to the curriculum, again in the context of NEP. I would be touching something, background information, then we may come back to the national policy little later. As you all know that you are all educators and the practitioners basically. Without the curriculum, we cannot implement any of the educational innovations in the field. And it has been possible through various educationalists and philosophers to develop various educational philosophy particularly, so that more innovations and researches are held, so that the education become a very feasible a task for the learner. I focuses on some of those great philosophers or educationalist thoughts first. I thought I would also want to tell that it is not an organized talk, but from some stray thoughts, so that let us see that how this curriculum can better implemented. So I was going through some of those. Can you have my slide, please? Thoughts that were. Those statements which was proved us to be the world's development in the field of education and as well as in other fields also. What we could see is that the education, when we say, it is basically an inspiring activity which catalyzed the younger minds to perform well. Thinking that we start, is it not? So it should ignite the thinking of the students. As we see that much of the present education is given for factual information, and it is not even touching to developing various skills, and remembering of the factual information become more important when it comes for the examination, is it not? So education is all rounded with the examination, and a saying we used to tell colloquially with our students, who is a past student and a failed student. That means a past student forget after the examination, and a failed student, you had failed before examination. Is it not? Alright, so our education system is creating people to mug up the things which are the education learning happening in our classrooms, much of those. You look upon the other statements also. Okay, the Socrates have given. And in education field we used to always tell, I am from the education field, okay, please remember you are from here, various disciplines of other major departments. The Socrates approach, always questioning, is it not? Alright, anything phenomena when we come across, we should have a inquiry approach, that why it is happening, how it is happening, how long it is happening, is it not? Is it really happening in the way in which what we are perceiving also? Is it not? It started, you must have seen that how we got to know that sun is revolving around this earth, is it not? That has been proved to be wrong. Listen, are you not understanding my words? Because when we talk to a primary children, they will be answering without any taking time. But as adult, you have some time for processing. Is it so? No? Is it not a statement when I told? Is it not? It has been proved to be wrong. That's what. When I say that apparently what appear, it is not to be a truth or a real. Is it not? So an inquiry approach, it's not a search or thirst for inquiry. It has started with the Socrates. It is not started now, is it not? So even our very commissions and policies emphasize, but why I want to tell is that it is not a new thing that NEP 2020 or NP has brought out. No, thinkers were there, they have. And also you could see that when thinking starts, what happens, is it not? You can have the brightful, extraordinary inventions and as well as discoveries also. So the classroom should be an atmosphere where the spirit has to be developed for thinking. Okay, and what is happening nowadays? A maths teacher teaches like a language teacher, the instruction provided, or even a science teacher. We have seen in our own students also, some of them, when we have the practical sessions, a science teacher has to develop various scientific qualities among the students, and ultimately we stood that a science student should think like a mini scientist, isn't it? When we say a mini scientist, that means what? Yeah, inquiries. Yeah, searching for new things. Yeah, there are science process skills, isn't it? We need to develop. So an attempt, if the teacher is not making, how can the children develop that qualities? Isn't it? So the whole responsibility lies with the teacher. If teacher is not inspired to talk or inspired to generate such ideas among the students, I think the teaching of that particular subject, the objectives will be failing. Like that in mathematics also. We need to develop logical reasoning, abstract reasoning and all, but provide a chance to develop that. Is it not? Many of the classroom situations, that's why I'm telling that a science teacher and mathematics teacher talks like a language teacher or a history teacher, where the information or the facts are provided, which is not enough. Is it not? Attain the various curricular goals, which we have established it in our the curriculums or in the policies, etc. Further, you can have some more. All right. As you could see that if the apple has not fallen straightly under the head of Newton, what would have happened? What would have happened? Tell me. Nothing. Okay. Any other answer? Yeah, we would not have been able to identify the law of gravity. All right. But don't you think that someone else would have found it later? Yes, isn't it? Definitely, it would have happened. Okay, someone else would have found it. But again, his contribution. Think about. So we could develop a lot of things, and we could know the nature. How is this nature existing? Isn't it? If the other orbits, whether it is man-made or natural orbits, how it is existing. He could give an explanation for that. Think about that individual's contribution to the nature's law, and also developing this earth to this much development. So that's how Newton's contribution, and again Thomas Alva Edison. Think about that. How many of us are agreed to say that I have failed this many times? We used to hide the facts much of the time, isn't it? All right, but Edison was talking about the positive way, the failures, isn't it? So if the bulb didn't make it glowy, what was the reason for that? Isn't it? So he could see that thousands of reasons for that, and then further he could see that how it had happened. So like that, the discoveries and inventions has made the field of education to the nation's development and the world's development. And I also draw some of those inspiring quotes. Why I am telling that many of these are the backbone to NEP 2020. All right, it is not new what I am going to tell. There are certain aspects, yes, which were not focused by the various policies. But people's contribution has been acknowledged very well, and Gandhi was talking about how the purpose of education, isn't it? So you could see that the present education, when we look upon, imagine a cartoon. All right, every one of you, imagine a cartoon. An individual is there with a bulged head, and his hands and body and the legs are thick. Could you imagine such a figure? Yes, again, no response. So this is what. Yes. Think about it, isn't it? You can draw image in your mind now, isn't it? I am verbally telling, but you draw it in your mind, in a visual form. So a bulged head, isn't it? Why the head has become bulged?
Overstudy.
Yeah. Okay. Overstudy. Yeah, too much of learning or bombarding with information, is it not? All right? Too much of information we are providing. And that's how the head become bulged. What happens to the body and mind? Think about that. Is it not? Are we giving a proper attention to that? So in other terms, we may say that the cognitive development, is it not? We focus on cognitive development rather than developing our affective and psychomotor abilities. Is it not? Psychomotor abilities are related with your skills, which what you do with your hands, and this affective domain. Yeah, yes, our emotions, is it not? You could see that people with a high ranking in the universities, sometimes they fail in the group discussions, is it not? Or even when they approach an interview also. What is happening is that we are not developing cognitive development. It is all right, that is intellectual development. Otherwise, in the older names, we call it as IQ, is it not? Intellectual intelligent quotient, is it not? Yes, of course, he has developed. But what about the SQ and the EQ? All right. Now you will find that in the management field, where is the demand for IQ people? People with good intellectual abilities. They prefer more people with the who is having emotional maturity or social maturity, isn't it? All right. So this right from the school days we need to develop. That's why nowadays we call it as developing socio-emotional skills among students. Think about such an approach. All right. Among all the youngsters starting from 6th standard onwards, even before that also, people should have an ability to manage their emotions. Much of the time we used to tell that if good things happens or somebody come with a very good dress in the classroom, peers should appreciate that, is it not? Where is that aesthetic sense? People never appreciate. Have you seen it or not? You think about your own colleagues. How many times you have appreciated your own colleagues? Whatever may be, in the matter in which a contest was arised, we see that. Should I appreciate, or you will look at? Isn't it? What is hindering? That's why once as I told you, when you mature adults, our thinking is regulated. Is it not? Regulated with various social norms, all right, and also the natural behavior is not appearing, is it not? Think about such a situation. Is it that education preventing you to do that? Many a times I have told it to many of our classroom students that if anything done by a students better than you, or you feel that something extraordinary the candidate has made, but don't you think that I need to appreciate it? Again matters a lot for that student, and also you need not matter that whether other students are doing it or not. Is it not? So what I am finding is that such emotional or social qualities do we need to develop at an early stage. The curriculum should focus on that. But more than that, the curriculum always focus on developing the thinking. All right, thinking, of course we need. But other than that, individual, you can see that without having a stable emotional and social qualities, we cannot survive in this world. Okay. Otherwise, that will be a situation as someone was talking about. When you look upon a dense forest, how a rabbit is surviving. Are you thinking? Think about a rabbit situation. All right? Every day, every moment. Yes, his fear of his fate. Is it not? Think about that. When he appear before any of those while they defends. But he is surviving. He or she, you can put it as she also, rabbit. Okay, think about that. That confidence is there in rabbit, is it not? Somehow I can, whatever may be the situation, adversities. This is what we require also, is it not? We need to develop that. Sometimes we call it as the resilience power. Is it not? Resilience power. We have seen the adversities recently. What was that? Last 2-3 years back? Yeah, the COVID, the pandemic. Think about that. How many of us could face it boldly? Never in our life made such a situation, whether it is in the families or in the school system, anywhere. But see that. Okay, if we would have developed, now also people are not come out from such a trauma situation. Okay, many things has happened. I did not have to explain to you, but people could survive. Okay, though there were many trauma and other psychological issues for the students. So these are all aspects in our education system should focus upon at an early stage. It is not that you learn mathematics, you learn science, which is not immediately applicable in your life situation. Is it not? What is in your life situation? What is can be possible so that you can implement it and you can improve your life quality. That should include as curriculum. Okay. Bruner, I think some of you must have thought about. Okay, he was talking about problem-solving abilities and the higher. Okay, as he has told that any subject can be learned by any students if he has teachers introduced in such a way that he can learn it. Isn't it? The complex phenomena, if you can make it as a simple phenomena, that is how a teacher is required, is it not? In any educational enterprises, we say that without the teacher we cannot manage. But even in the new situation like we have all the information sources, isn't it? But even then we say that paramount place we give for the teacher. Why? Why do we give that much importance for our teacher? Because materials are available, at resources are there. Even you can use artificial intelligence to tell us the answers. You can ask them to write your assignments. Everything is happening, is it not? But why do we need a teacher? Yeah, the human connection. Very good answer. Is it not? Human connection. Is it not? Human touch. We need. We don't want a machine touch, is it not? So that the teachers care for the children. Think about that. Machines cannot replace. Maybe after 10 years, machines also start showing the feelings. Is it not? Now itself the robots can sing. But even then we say that because teacher facilitate your learning, which otherwise sometimes not possible. But Bruner was telling that what is our role of teacher? Teacher has to teach every student learn how to learn. If this skill has been developed among the students, then any students can become an autonomous learner. I hope you can understand the word autonomous learner. Is it not? He takes the responsibility his or her learning, regulate the learning, isn't it? He will also reflect upon his or her own learning. If that happens, learning becomes a self-oriented process, and to what extent he has to learn and everything, the pace of learning he only determines rather than the system determines. Now, from that we are moving to another new concept, that is human flourishing. If at all I want to ask, what do you want to achieve in your life? Success? I'll put another word also, satisfaction. Some more answers let you throw.
Peace of mind. Happiness.
Okay, happiness, well-being. Whether success provide all this? No, not necessarily. Is it not? Not necessarily. Something more than success you want? Excellence. So now we have an option. Whether you want success or you want excellence in your life. You may say, both. Somebody has told, is it not? Okay. Anyway, when you pursue for excellence, the pursuit of excellence, success will automatically follow. Is it? So what is this excellence? Yeah, achieving the human potential. Sir is constantly giving good answer, give him applause. That's what we used to do in our classroom. Alright? In our B.Ed classrooms. They are not children, they are all adult, but we should appreciate, is it not? Encourage. Think about a situation in your higher education classes also. Have you ever done this? Tell me, any one of you, frankly. Any one of you? Okay. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Now I used to, sometimes jokingly we used to tell that once we, put up polls, that 2-3 people were not knowing about what is happening. Now only they have got up to the class and something is happening in this class. I was not aware about. I am jokingly telling, is it not? That not the purpose, but even then that can encourage other students to be more concentrate on your classes. We really have, as I told, when we talk about the socio-emotional skills, we lack those qualities and we seldom do it. So education, flourishing, that is nothing but excellence in all our fields. So for that, what should we, as a basic requirement, we should know our potentials. Is it not? Then only we can. As a saying, the literature says that only we know our 20% of our abilities. Is it not? Whether it is intellectual or any of those abilities, potentials, various, like we talk in terms of various aptitudes. We do not know. Okay, let me ask a question. How intelligent are you?
According to the situation.
I have asked a simple question and you give one word answer. Yeah, very good. Give her a clap. The second part is more important. Okay. That is why we are sitting here. We are above average or average. That is why I am here in this forum or I am in this college or in the school. Is it not? No doubt about that. Okay, that is an answer expected. Is it not? Someone can tell, I am above average or, I am superior. That is, but you have an answer. What about the majority? Remaining, 119 persons in this hall. Yeah, that means you have not understood yourself. Is it not? What are we? Think about that. The same thing, we ask the students also, but we get better answers than you provided. Okay? Yeah, that's what. We don't have a system to measure also, in educational field also. Think about, is it not an important aspect? Is it not? Alright? Like our other various potentials, like our aptitudes, we have all come to the teaching profession. I do not know whether it is by choice or chance. If it is chance, then you have to adjust with, isn't it? Like it is, sorry to God, in a marriage situation. Is it not? All right, you have to adjust, is it not? Something, economic, support you need, so I have to work. Though I was not planned to be in this field. It should not happen for our future, generations, is it not? So it is our duty that, the potentials we need to tell to the students and, plan, or help them to, or support them to plan in their own, career as well as life. When you think about, now career, that is your identity, is it not? All right, and now the situation has come, not, it is again a colloquial talk, it's not your family name more important, but the career in which you are, that reflect your social status. I hope you got it. Is it not? In the earlier times, oh, so and so belongs to that family, that son, other son or something. Is it not? That are all gone now. The whole social, relationship exists now with the people who are working in the same field or allied fields. So ultimately, our education. What for education? Is it not? Education is for our well-being. Ultimately, as you have told that, rather than success, I would prefer satisfaction. Is it not? Whatever the field I am doing, I should get satisfaction. When do you get a satisfaction? Yeah, when you are, okay, when you are enjoying what you are doing, okay, or what you are supposed to do, you get an opportunity to do that, isn't it? That's how the enjoyment or interest creates. Think about such a situation, is it not? Even if the salary is low, facilities are not there, but you really start enjoying doing the work. That provides you satisfaction. Whether satisfaction alone will help you to grow. Think about M.F. Hussain. I hope you know the people. M.F. Hussain. Is it not? He is famous for his painting, artwork. Is it not? He used to do many artworks. And he gets the satisfaction. I am telling, he gets the satisfaction. That is not true also. Okay, I cannot say that. Okay, but for the contest, I am telling that he gets satisfaction whenever he creates a new art form. Alright? But his art forms are sold in dollars. That never gives his satisfaction. Okay? Are you getting it? Yes. He never made a art for, for this selling of, to the, in dollars or abroad. No. Not at all. Think about it. When he creates a new art form, that gives him inner satisfaction. So satisfaction is coming from where? Your internal. So we call it as internal frame of reference. You don't compare with others. Is it not? But what about success? Yes, you always compare. Is it not? Or like tangible measure. The salary you get, the perks you get, the facilities you get. Oh, the other person, every day the vehicle is coming from his office to pick up. Think about that. Alright, that is the social status, and we say that he is a successful person. Even I go to a success, to the extent that telling, when you consult a district collector or a DC, alright, you ask frankly, are you a satisfied person? A question. What would be the expected answer? In most of the cases, you may say that no. I would have been happy if I would have become an economic professor in such and such university. Think about such a response. Alright? You got it or not? Yes. So that's what he has compelled. Anyway, he gets good responsibility in the district or wherever he is working, but he is not really. So what we used to tell that education should provide both. Both means what? Yeah, success as well as satisfaction. Think about such a combination. Is it not? And again leads to the excellence, that is flourishing. For flourishing, we should know our potentials, otherwise we can't. As you all telling that you don't know how much intellectual ability you possess. And children are also like that. Think about the situation, if everyone aware about their potentials and if they are able to do it, maximize it, and the world would have been different then. Is it not? Not like this. So we use only 20%. We know 20%, and out of that we use only 20%. Then you think about how much we are really contributing. So again, I want to tell the well-being aspect. Okay, nowadays, we talk much on that after the COVID. Mental well-being. So that is more important. It is not the money, the position, or anything which is a tangible thing. No. Do you have a free and calm mind, which can receive or listen to others, and also you can get something productive from your own rather than doing the mechanical things. If such a situation is there, then we consider that yes, education has helped you. Okay, so ultimately mental peace is what we all looking for. Now little we will move forward to the other aspect. Okay. You can see that though NEP is the context we were talking about, national education policy, but we should also see that we can't see the developments in isolation, and we cannot see the development again after the 2000 or 2014 and on. You see, the quote we used to tell that Rome was not built in a day. Is it not? This is all we have to remember. Is it not? Okay? Nothing is happening in a fine morning. A lot of preparations are already done or already happened, and that's how the development. Some certain times the development will be faster. Think about a situation if COVID was not there. People used to sometimes admit that in certain areas COVID situation has provided us a lot of opportunity. Otherwise, it would have been taking another 1 decade to have such development. Is it not? Okay, in what field do you tell? Yeah, that utilization of the technology, particularly the online learning. Think about that. Is it not? We did not had any other way to go about, is it not? So we were compelled. Alright, as teachers, you have the first time used the technology to interact with the distance learners, and like the students also. But students, they will really enjoy, is it not? Anything new gadgets they get, they will make use to the fullest possible. But for the teachers, system provided, but even then it was a slow pace. But now we are really acknowledging that fact. So that's what I am telling. Anything it will take, and certain times the development will be faster because of all those scientific and technological facilities which are coming to us. When we say that, you see, NEP talks about the human potential, isn't it? You can see that a precious national resource. This is how nowadays we are not talking about our problem as population. Isn't it? Population is not our problem now. Earlier we used to talk like that, isn't it? The number. Okay? Number used to be a problem for us. We have to provide food for them, that basic roti, kapda, makan. Is it not? The saying, you know it. But we are not. That is how the changing perception. This was there earlier when you talk about in Mahabharata, the Kauravas, 100 people, isn't it? 100 used to be the strength they used to think. But we have realized that the smaller strength also can conquer to the 100 people also. So it is again, it is not the strength as such, but the quality. Okay, that's how it is a national resource. People are, but more than resource also now we talk about. The resource, natural resources are there. Like that, human beings cannot be considered as a natural resource. Why? It is something more. Yeah, it is human resource. It is something different from the various other natural resources. Why? Skilled resource, otherwise something more. Yeah, very good answer again, but something more. Alright. She has told that natural resources will be exhausted. Yeah, some answer from backside.
Actually, humans are the ones with all the resources together. We didn't know the resources, all the resources.
Yeah. Think about humans, like as I was talking at the beginning itself, they have the thinking, isn't it? Yes, they are the one who contribute to all of our development. Think about that, isn't it? I was talking about Newton also. Isn't it? Their thinking has developed, but contributed to the development of the nation as well as world. Think, isn't it? So humans are not only the resources, but something more, because they contribute for our development. There are other, non-human beings also. Madam, you have anything? Yeah, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sorry. Actually, I think there's a time to discuss that we are for the resources are for the us. Actually, we create the resources.
Yeah.
And by blindly follow that or all that, we are just robot in their hand of resources. For example, we create the mobile phone.
Yeah.
But now the mobile phone
Yes.
directs us.
Correct.
So now I
No
think
problem.
there's a time to think about that.
Yes,
and
yes.
to get our social emotional status back.
Correct. I agree with you fully. But even then, we should be proud that the machines or tools, whatever the AI nowadays, it is only humans' creation, humans' invention. Is it not? None else than that. Is it not? Even if AI, ruling us, is it not? Or robots ruling us, but we should be proud of that. It is a human creation. Alright? It is human mind worked behind that. It is for development, though maybe the negative effects are there. So what we say is that everything the resources what we are developing as this again contributing. It is as I was telling other than human beings they cannot do this. As natural resources are existing, we extract that natural resources. That's how we talk about now. This one SDG. Is it not? What is that? Sustainable Development Goals. Is it not? If you have a right to live, the future generation has also a right to live on this earth. So please leave the resources for them. Is it not? It is not exclusively for you alone. So you can see that the education how it is not only developing the potentials, but also we need to take care. Is it not? And other statement also you can see that education become a unique investment for the present and the future. And how much the percentage we are investing. Think about in our national budget and all. Very little, isn't it? The 6 to 7%, even that is not GDP. Think about such a situation, and where we invest more. Quick response. Yeah, defense. Is it not? In the defense sector, 25 to 30% of GDP is going for that. And why are we? This is what I was talking about earlier. When we talk about the human nature and how what we need to develop, caring and all. Think about a situation where the nations and other countries harmoniously living. We can't imagine now. Is it not? Every day we are hearing from Gaza and Israel the problems. Think about a situation if human beings were harmoniously living in this earth without boundaries. Then we did not have any soldiers on this earth. Is it not? We are investing on them now. For what? Protect our territories, protect our country. And we talk much on education. Is it not? Education provides this, that and all. And ultimately what is happening? It's not started now only, but you could see in the history itself. Is it not? So we consider it as a natural law. Is it not? Or nature's law. Is it not? Survival of the fittest. So people will strive. This is again a human nature that as we talk about excellence, they have a tendency to excel. Is it not? Maybe whatever the means they use, that is also important. But there is an innate ability. We need to develop that. Are you getting it or not?
Yes.
If Hitler is there, he has conquered most of the world place. But that aspiration was there. Is it not? Though it is a wrong way. But so we say that individuals have that. Alright, that we need to develop and utilize it in a positive manner. Okay? And here further NEP was talking about the national system of education. You could see that after 1976 we have developed an approach which for education, that is education has been put in the concurrent list. Is it not? You know that what is meant by concurrent list. Certain sectors are in the concurrent list where state and the central has a major responsibility, more or less equal responsibility. There are certain sectors which are exclusively with the central. Can you name one or two?
Defense.
Yeah, defense, good answer.
External
Railways.
Food. Coastal.
Yeah, health is a social sector which has a responsibility for education, responsible agriculture. The sectors they have both. So education, 1976 onwards, we put it as responsibility for both. And from there onwards, we could see that a lot of changes. And immediately after that, we got a 1986 policy. They were talking about a national system of education. Because as a nation, India wants to be united. Not that I am using. Then education has a major role to play. Alright? Education has a major role to play. Why I am talking about, you could see some of those unwanted elements. What happens? In Punjab and all. But sir, we have started a little late also. Okay? Yeah. What happens in Punjab? Is it not? Still now it is there? Is it not? What is that? A state of Punjab wants to be move away from Indian Union. Is it not? Alright? When you look upon the Punjab has got the highest per capita income. They can move away because they can have a lot of economic independence and all. But India has to be united as a nation. We cannot allow that. Is it not? That's how we started with thinking education has a role to play in national development. And when you see the 1964-66 policy also, they put it as education for national development. Okay. So 86 policy was talking about national system of education. It will comprise of two things. One is there will be a national structure and again national curriculum framework. Okay. So that was the first important contribution, I would say that. And in the landscape of education, national policy as 1986 has made dramatic changes. Alright, we could see most the development. Now adding the 2020 policy also. When they told that national structure, you could all see that many of you must have studied your 11th and 12th in the colleges. If you are of my age, then I could see that we have studied. But from there we have made a shift, isn't it? So the school education ranging from first standard to 12th standard, okay, that was the first reform we have done, when taking away the plus 2 stage from the colleges to the school. So we got a national structure comprised of 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 2. Is it not? That was existing during 1986. It was not like that everywhere, every state, different states have followed. In Karnataka we used to tell that it was a part of intermediate college. Teachers were called as junior lectures. But elsewhere it was considered as a faculty of higher education. So many discrepancies were there, is it not? But the structure, we could implement it. And again, the primary stage, from 4 to 5. Think about that. And again, elementary education up to 8 also. So like that, system has made modification in the structure. And the second aspect was the national curriculum framework. As I told that if a nation has to be united, then common input should go, is it not? The Kerala or Karnataka or Tamil Nadu can decide something, and the northeast state can have another. No, it is not like that. Flexibility will be there, but even then, with respect to the core aspects of curriculum, we need to have an agreement and a unity also, is it not? Later, it has got much of importance when we started having national level competitive examinations. Is it not? You know it, all right? That's how now the NCERT or CBSE textbooks are, given to all states for, making us their own, books. Isn't it? It is printed in Karnataka, same CBSE or NCERT books. Only the cover is, the government's. Isn't it? Karnataka government, same in Tamil Nadu also. Because, when we have, a core, concept or subject has to be transacted, as a nation, it should go uniformly, so that all students are competitive enough to participate in this type of examination, and no one is deprived also. And this policy also talks about the last word you think about. Okay, no one can rise above the level of teachers. This much importance I have given for the teachers. Is it not? But when we ask in smaller classroom like 8th, 9th, how many of you want to become teachers? What would be the answer? What would be the answer? 0. Think about that. No one. I don't know what could be the reason. Is it a low salary? Yeah, that is true also, sir. Okay, I have been given 10 minutes. Yeah. Think about such a situation, is it not? Alright? We have seen that the whole development, okay, as we were talking about various innovations, inventions, everything, teachers have only boosted, is it not? Think about anyone, he might be able to tell some story which has happened in the school, is it not? He acknowledges sometimes a teacher, is it not? Do we acknowledge or not? But these great people have, story to tell. Some acknowledgement to that teacher, that particularly, it could be a primary school teacher or it could be even higher education level teacher. But they have. That's what we tell that, teacher, no one can above. But when we ask the career options, students, alright, whatever it may be, but we need to acknowledge that, the education provided by the teachers is everlasting, influence on, individual's life. But now I want to cut a sorry figure here. Though we have developed, many aspects, India has developed also. And in the last year, we have told that India has reached on the moon. Have you heard this statement or not? Yes. The ISRO director was making. He was addressing the Prime Minister. Isn't it? Respective Prime Minister. The word he began with this word. Okay, India has reached on the moon. We have reached there. We have also developed our own indigenous machines to send these vehicles there. But think about sometimes when we have an international assessment. We had an international assessment. It is called PISA. It has been conducting ever since 2000. Different countries, particularly OECD countries together. They are around 40 and other countries also participate. In 2009, we have participated as for the first time, but we got second rank. So you heard back. Okay. From the bottom. So what it shows that, isn't it? So, it is not to generalize like that, but even then I am telling, in certain aspects, our children need to develop further. They have asked only 3 to 4 competencies like reading, then science literacy, mathematics literacy, and nowadays they have included financial literacy also. It was not there in 2009. So our student, very pathetically performed. And recently, during COVID time only, 2021-22, they had to conduct. India has made all efforts. Chandigarh, schools. It's not for all students. They will pick up some school and they will prepare the children. Chandigarh, some of these government and KV schools prepared for participating. But when it came for actual participation, they decided not to participate because of the COVID situation. Okay, they were afraid that our rank may go down to 1. Just joking. Alright? From the bottom. Think about. So what I want to tell is that the curriculum what we prepare, the syllabus or whatever the materials after that, is not allowing the children to think freely, freedom for them, is it not? What are those required skills to survive in this world? Are we really developing that or not? Okay. So much of the time, stereotype activities are happening in classroom, which only develop our cognitive abilities rather than thinking independently. I'll just tell that just a small contest. You have assume you have a lake near here, all right, and you want to know the depth of this lake, all right, how much depth it is having. What do you do to know? Very quick answer. Now sir is explaining. Sir, put sir.
String on a stone.
Yeah. Yes. Then where do you go? You want to know the depth, not to this side depth. Yeah. So how do you go to the lake in the middle? You will take a boat. Let us say, is it not? You will go in a boat, is it not? Then you will put the string. Okay. Or instead of string, you can have a stick also, is it not? Long, is it not? Okay. I got a correct answer already. Anyone else? Anyone else?
We use latest technology to ascertain the depth of the lake.
Okay. What is that? Laser?
Laser beams.
Okay. Yes, sir. In a rural area, a rural child want to know. Yeah, he will take a stick, a bamboo stick. You see, he is very particular about that. Bamboos are more available in rural area. Tell. I got an answer. The second clapping we are giving to madam. Madam, you can give the mic to her. She can introduce. You did not clap also. That's what I earlier also told.
Sir, my name is Rama Devi. I am from Little Flower School, Uppal, Hyderabad.
Yeah.
I teach English and biology.
Good. What was your answer?
I said the same answer that sir has said. Tying a stone.
No, before that. Okay, then I so sorry. Someone else have told that we will. No. We'll put a stone. Who told that? That's what you only told, no? Yeah. You will throw a stone. All right. You will throw a stone. Then. Yeah, bubbles comes. Is it not? Observe. Is it not? Ripples will be there. Is it not? Observe. For how much time it is coming up? Is it not? Is it taking more time or less time? Is it not? That is enough to know, or to just say that whether it has got, the deepest or smaller.
That way we cannot ascertain the actual depth of the lake.
Yes, sir, we are not. Yes, sir, we are not going to write an answer for your question. No, it is not required. Is it not? How much? It is only an assumption or a tentative. Is it not? So what is happening is that our practical mind is not working. This is not done in the classrooms. But a child who has been with the nature for a longer time, he knows how to know it, whether I can swim or I can jump. Is it not? He has made it. And then he starts jumping. Think about that. So the practical intelligence which we really required to survive on this world, is not taught in our classrooms. What is taught is that you take a stick, all right, put it, go into the middle of the lake by boat or whatever it may be, and measure it, use a meter scale or a tape, see that how much, then you may say that yes, it is 2.5 meter depth, isn't it? Should I swim it or not? Take a decision. This is what we are habituated to follow, conditioned to follow the instruction given in the classrooms or instruction provided in the textbook. What are we missing there? Yeah. Okay. All right. We are just touching. I know to go finish it. So the curriculum, as we say that we have a commitment, we told that, isn't it? If other nations in the world are committed to, achieve the equality and equity education, then India has also a responsibility to achieve that. And India has, made it clear through its NEP 2020 that though 2030 is, the deadline, but at least by 2040 we would be able to make it, and an education system which is second to none. Alright, so that everyone get educated in our schools, and whether it is informal or otherwise. Alright, and here also you could see that some of those aspects we need to develop as the aims of education they have put it. Education aims for developing the rational thinking, and also these two things, possessing compassion and empathy. That's what I told that. We are not looking upon the affective domain, and then how can we survive as human beings, isn't it? Much of the time, we will act like robots only, isn't it? If anything accident comes, or you notice on the roadside also, rather than rushing to the spot, you are worried about reaching to your office, and what happens if I late in the office. Think about that. What is regulating you there? Okay, instead of showing humanity, taking them to the hospitals or providing the first aids, but you are more worried about. This way we want to develop our future generation? No, not at all, isn't it? As I was talking about the resilience, they have put it here also. Along with our scientific temper and all, we want that human should be a self-independent and self-regulated individual, so that he can take decisions his or her own way, depending upon the context in which he or she is living. Okay. This is what other aspect I was talking about, the socio-emotional qualities. And NEP talk about the holistic development, isn't it? I think many of you must have seen or were there in the system when CBSE introduced CCE, Continuous Comprehensive Evaluation, isn't it? What was additionally introduced there? Life skills, and other than that, assessment on our social skills, isn't it? Which cannot be otherwise assessed through black and white or written in an examination, isn't it? Through what we can assess?
Observation.
Initially they provided those worksheets related to life skills.
Okay, yeah. Basically through teachers' observation, isn't it? Observation means in which we can assess. It has provided various other qualities like cooperativeness, trustworthiness, etc. Otherwise we cannot. But when we talk about a human individual, humans all dimensions we need to assess. Then we consider it as a holistic assessment, including our socio-emotional qualities. And the 21st century skills are going to be the focal point, and NEP talks about that when they developed the national curriculum framework for school education as well as foundational stage. Okay, the 4 C's. What are those 4 C's? Yeah, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, creativity, isn't it? And then problem solving also as a part of life skill, you are learning it. So basically this become our curricular, objectives, isn't it? Basically, or curricular goals. Now what we say is that you can see, I am also not going each and every slide. You could see that the curriculum proposed by the NCERT or the ministry, you could see that everything revolve around these competencies, alright, and the content load is going to be very reduced, alright. So it will not be to test a particular content we need to have a particular competency. No, rather than when we have a competency which has been finalized first, then we can see that how to achieve that, what type of learning outcomes have to be there. So minimal content we will be providing. Alright, based on that we can measure each competency and then see that the curricular goals are achieved. That's what we were talking about, the fusion aspect also. Some of the slides, and when we talk about the reorganization of this, reconceptualization of the curriculum, the changed scenario, we need to keep it. Now the structure of education has been changed, and you could see that education starts from now 3 years, isn't it? 3 years. So age become a criteria for your admission, not the even. I am sorry to say that the cognitive development, where you are ready to, readiness is there or not, that is taken apart. But if you have attained the year 3, definitely you have to find a place in our educational system. So the educational system earlier ranged from 1 to 12. Now it is going to be age 3 to age 18, isn't it? So you can calculate how many years of education one has to complete when we say that you have completed school education. So 15 years, isn't it? Alright, it is going to be already implemented by the KVs. They have all started and attached pre-primary systems. Even in our RIs we have started. So when we talk about then again curricular reorganization, starting from the foundational stage, you have got a national curriculum which explain about what content it has to go and what type of pedagogy we need to have at each level. And when we talk about curriculum also, we already told that the attainment of educational objectives, curriculum is one aspect major. But in addition to that, we need to see that how is this our school environment making. Alright, a lot of difference make a school environment or a school ethos or a school culture. This is how we say that when students come to RI, Regional Institute of Education campus, particularly Mysore, the campus makes a lot of differences. So the institutional ethos and environment, this is a major implication. It has a major implication in the development of the quality education. Right? In our campus, when people comes from different southern India, the first thing they develop to speak in other states' languages. This is not in our curriculum. Is it not? Curriculum has got explicit objectives, but we get the what we call it as other than the explicit curriculum, which is other outcomes. What we call it as outcome, not intended. All right. Natural outcomes. Okay. So that is what a curriculum, as you are telling that it is a planned experience. I am getting second one also. Okay, but I can take liberty because sir is my sir only, but sir, we are coming from the same organization. Okay, so we need to look upon that. How do we enrich our school environment? Okay, curriculum you have a planned one. You will see that CBSE provide bombarded. I am telling the same word, bombarded with this. You have to do these activities and this timing. They are very particular about the providing the content inputs this that way. But once we say that the flexibility which teachers get to provide to the students, every organization or institution make a difference, isn't it, in developing their inner potentials, and otherwise we become like a robot only. Characteristics are there, and you could see that how the curriculum. Okay, we have national goals. If I ask what is our national goal of education, one word answer. Okay, you can think about. Don't tell them. Okay, because you take much time too. I have experienced. Okay, then from there, our school aims of school education. Then we will have what has to be developed: desirable values, disposition, capacities, and knowledge. Isn't it? So you could see that knowledge, their capacity, skills, then attitude and values, and we add one more as counselors or people working in the field, aspirations also. People's aspiration. Okay, that has to be nurtured. We get a lot of opportunity to see among our students how when they come to our college, how they develop that aspiration. They don't want to leave our campus at all. They come for 4 years, but they will continue for another 2 years also, and one more 5 years that for research also. Think about such a situation. What is it making? That's what I told. The culture, school ethos, it has lot of impact on them. So we'll have curriculums, and what they talk about. Now there is no bifurcation between curricular and non-curricular. Everything is included under curricular, and for that each curricular goals will be their competencies and learning outcomes. This has been explicitly stated in that, and it is good guide for us now. NCFSC has provided. It's not very difficult, as people talk about OB. What is that OB? Outcome-based education. Is it not? Outcome-based education is explicitly stated. And when you look upon that, one part only your content or discipline knowledge. Is it not? 12 to 14. 12 are being given by OB, which developed by the man, OB is father of, OB is called, but I've forgotten the name. But when it comes to the UGC has developed it as 14. You look upon, development of attitudes are there, research potentials are there, then community, contribution to the community, etc. Only 1 or 2 parts only they are talking about the content aspect. So much are to be developed in other areas. Alright, like that the curriculum is also focusing and giving a lot of chances for including physical education, art, craft, that all become competent in our core subjects. Alright, and the multidisciplinary approach. This is how now we need to develop, particularly at the school level. A science student should be able to learn economics also, or even sociology or psychology also. Okay, these are all the areas they have told that for 11th and 12th they will be focusing. Alright, so this is the approach, the curriculum development approach. Aims of education is their curricular goals, competencies, and learning outcomes. Okay, and they have also talked about learning standards, so that everyone will achieve some standards. I think I will stop here. Though I took little more is there, but at the beginning, to talk about. I hope you have gained something new, approach to your thinking. If that is I could make, then I think that I have done my work. Okay, thank you. Any questions or anything? Any questions? Yeah, please.
Sir, I'm sure we have gone through this kind of learning which has brought us to this level. Now I feel that they have just changed the terminologies and the ages, and they're trying to calculate maybe a foreign culture they're trying to bring into the education so that all can be unified. However it may be, we were brainy people. Indians are very hardworking, and we are doing the best even in Western countries. So most of the time we have brain drain,
Yes.
by which our country is lacking efficient people. Now they are trying to bring a new strategy or another terminologies to what we have already undergone. And when you compare, actually we are the mediators for the old and the new.
Mhm.
We are in between.
Yeah, we are the
Yes.
best part in our life because this generation. Okay.
So when we look at our evaluation, would we find a default in us? In our system where we underwent our education, is there a default? I don't know, but I feel no. Otherwise, we are not to this extent of competency that we will be here, and that's why today most of us are principals who can do the school work to give the best to the students. So what we receive from our tutoring, we are implementing it also.
Yes.
But the major backlog is in the right way it has not been implemented in the right schools. That is because of the thought of different thoughts, different people who have kept coming in and going out. So each of them, to their own levels, they have tried to excel. Now, how will we assess this implementation of the new education policy to find out whether this is going to work out for our own students or the next generation? How long are they going to take to do the evaluation and say, yes, this is right? Maybe we are including psychology. Yes, we also had psychology. Our parents were best teachers. Our teachers were very good. Wherever we went, we had education. We had an interest. That's why we learned. We did. But only thing is now technology is coming, trying to take over. But how long will it take to do an evaluation to say, do we need to change from here to another strategy? Or do we say, yes, this is best, this is good? What happens to our children in the next generation? Thank you.
Yeah, I think rather it is a question, it is a long essay, isn't it? Answering to an essay, very difficult. But I will just brief that NEP 2020 focus on developing as 5 competencies, isn't it? All right, because that is going to be the survival tool for the future. Okay, like we have told that creativity, communication, what are the 5? Okay, including problem solving. So that becomes the backbone. All right, you teach psychology, you teach any other subject. Third, okay. Sorry. Okay. All right. So the skill and competency development, focus on that. We need not look back the faults of the earlier. No, we should be proud that we have reached this level. Indians have contributed, is it not? So we should be proud to tell that our education was the best, is it not? Whether it is the olden one or the present one, but we should be claimed to tell that, and the future also will be like that. Okay, and in somewhere we read that we need to develop the skills among the students for those careers which are not existing one. Think about a statement like that. ILO has given it. The career is not existing. All right, career will come after 10 years. But we need to develop our children those skills which are required to be there for the careers which are not existing one. That means what? That means in nutshell this the competencies, 5 competencies: problem solving skills, creativity, communication. That's what they were focusing, including digital skills, so that they will be able to survive in this world. I think with this word, I don't know whether madam is really satisfied with my answer. Okay. Let us be hopeful, okay? Whether it is our people contributing to nation or the world, but we should be proud that our own people, isn't it? They are there. In NASA also, when you look upon, many Indians are also working, isn't it? They have gone to abroad, further studies, and they have joined there further. So anyway, thank you for giving an opportunity. Bye.
Thank you so much for the remarkable deliberation. So indeed the session was quite interactive, so that's why we are running short of time, so we can have discussions in the coming sessions. As a note of official vote of thanks, It's quite admirable to say that the beginning of the session starts with some inspiring statements to inspire us. That was quite interesting. And the role of a teacher is not to teach how to learn. So to teach how to learn, that is quite interesting. And the significance of satisfaction as an internal frame of reference, where success is an external measuring rod. So that let's all strive to make sure that our education is capable of providing success and satisfaction, and it should lead flourishing through exploring the right potential of the students. So may we express our sincere gratitude to Professor Anil Kumar for spending your valuable time here with us and enlightening us with your expertise and wisdom. May I request Dr. Jonas Richard, the conference convener and head Department of Social Science, Social Work, to present the memento as a token of our gratitude. Thank you, sir. So we'll start the next session in a short while.
As Abdul Kalam would say, that gives to thinking. Thinking leads to questioning. They begin to question why the sun is rising in the east, why the sky is blue, why the steam is rising in a kettle, why the apple is falling from the tree. They begin to question, and then they come out with answers, with the discovery, with new ideas. Then definitely I think that is the end product of education, where we have developed a kind of cycle of teaching in our students. So my only vision prayer is that our learning, our education should be value based, knowledge based and skill based. Skill means all the skills that the sir will be talking about, the outcome based skills that is leading at each level of students. Otherwise, our students of teachers of class 9 and 10, when I was in school, they used to say, Father, the students coming from the primary school, they don't know the basic grammar. They don't know the basic addition, multiplication, which is supposed to be taught in the primary level. So, at each level, there should be an outcome-based learning so that they are ready to be employed, ready to be useful, ready to serve the society.
We would want you to speak up now. There was a question and there is an intervention. We have not answered ma'am's question. We remember it. If any one of you would like to answer ma'am's question of how to match the expectation of teacher, of the educator or the board on the student need. So that was basically the summary of the question ma'am asked. Who would like to join, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Seema Pradeep. I'm from Aradhana School. It's an ICC syllabus school. Now, just like ma'am said, I happen to be an English teacher. So time constraint does apply in every class. And when you are teaching Shakespeare or when you are taking language, functional grammar takes a lot of time. Like Father just said, that the basics are unclear. And then the teachers of grade 9 and 10 are expected to rush in and make centum results. So how is it even possible within 2 years when you are starting from a scratch? It's practically impossible. And then you also have students who have limited span of attention. So that's another big problem after COVID that we see. They are lethargic to write. They don't want to write. They are ready for orals. They don't want to write even their papers to the extent that, 350 words of essay, how will I write and what will I write is the question that they have. So it's very difficult. So I would like you to just give us some inputs to, emphasize and make it very important for students to understand where these areas and where these gaps and how teachers can make up with these gaps. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So first of all, I thank the college and for this opportunity. So right now, what ma'am has asked for and what ma'am has asked, I'll come to that question late because that is I would like to answer it the last. Okay, so now both are trying to say some challenges in the class, and both somewhere related to time bound, and one is the student aspect ma'am has brought in. Could you please share any other challenges apart from time and the student side, the lethargic and the attention span, what ma'am was talking about? Any other challenges? Can you add some more? Yes, sir. Types of assessment. Could you please elaborate, ma'am?
Like we have one code, you can't judge a fish on the basis of climbing a tree.
Okay.
When it is outcome-based education, we can't judge all the students of a class on one type of assessment. So what are the different types of assessment to be followed, keeping in mind the time constraint?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the basic challenge which I feel our students are facing, especially for the board examination, before COVID, the students were in a habit of sitting, reading, analyzing, and then writing their examinations. But when the COVID came, you just quote one example. You must have been, I think you must be knowing that CBSE introduced semester system in a particular examination. 2 semesters. The first semester was like, they just need to fill those boxes. And many schools did what, like there were 4 options, A, B, C, D for an answer. I'm just quoting one example, practical example, what happened. So just to increase the score of the student, because during COVID, hardly they studied. So what schools did, many of the schools used this policy. They asked the students write only C. Just fill C. Okay? C can be made as D, C can be made as B, the most convenient way. So what happened after that, in the second semester, that was a subjective examination. The first one was totally objective. The second was totally subjective. So the result crashed like anything. When we compiled the results, the first term result, we had to give a compiled result to the board. The first term result was too good. Yes, an average student was ranging in 90 to 95% because of these things. But in the second term, the second result, the final result, that was a subjective. Very few students were ranging in 90 to 95 brackets. So after COVID, what happened when the students rejoined the classes? The same problem. Like speed is a major factor. If you suppose I'm taking class 12, I teach accounting. So what the basic problem is their calculations, the logics, their way of writing, presentation is now pathetic. All techno-savvy, I must say, technology, if you ask, they will answer. But if you are able to write a question, that's the reason why when they appear for the final examination these days, majority of them are not able to calculate, majority of them not even able to write. They cannot cope up with the 3 hours durations. Those 15 minutes CBSE has given, 3 hours 15 minutes, 15 minutes for reading the paper very carefully and then attempting. So my question to the panelist is that the speed factor, which is the major factor of these examinations, yes, you have to write and you have to win-win situation like that way. How to cope up with that? Thank you.
Would anyone else would like to answer this question, this challenge? And Joseph sir, I have one question. Is the outcome-based education's objective is measured by what a student can do or learn to do at the end of my class? Or is it about I taught this lesson and they scored 100 marks?
Yes, ma'am. So, yeah, ma'am would like to answer. Sister, yes.
I am Sister Lebreta Fernandez from Goa. Regarding this, what you said regarding the outcome-based, this is a major problem that we in Goa also faced. I was as a flying squad for the exam. The first part of the exam, children answered MCQs. Second part, they passed. Second part, they didn't answer, but they came to answer the paper. They only wrote the name and they were seated. This is because they already got their marks and it was in 2 parts. Secondly, the children that don't write, you must have heard about this crunch box. So there's a student of mine in grade 2, doesn't want to write anything. Nothing, can speak. Orally he answers. So one fine day he comes to my office one of these days and he said, "Sister, can I order in a crunch box?" So I said, no, I want to be in engineering. I want to be knowing that robots. And then he said, it's costing only $24. He already has done a study about this. This is children who don't want to write from pandemic time. Learning outcome is concerning to the holistic report card. We were in the pilot project which the entire state will be getting ahead for, entire country. I was selected for Goa to present the paper on celebrating school leadership at NCRT New Delhi. That time we discussed about this and holistic report card, and after that we were on the pilot project for this. I saw the teachers really finding it very difficult. In our school we are 50 plus in each section. It's a big school of 2,500 and the teachers took days to do for one child. Seeing the outcome, what could be based on they had taken 2 students only of each class. One was children below average and above average. It took a lot of time based on what the child could understand and how the child could assess. Based on that, the marks were given. We had to submit this report to the SCRT, which was onward moving to Delhi for the final decision. So this is a big problem where I think across Goa we will have, because children are coming from different range. Children who can't write, they can't read. Even if we have phonetics, but that level of learning, what was then, that's why earlier when he asked, teachers were not smart, teachers were smart then. That's why we are smart. Today children want to have the smart boards and as a result they can't write. So I also, as a head of the institution, find difficult while children can't write and parents say they also have a lot of difficulty. While each teacher has this difficulty in the class. I hope we'll have some inputs in this. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Good afternoon. My name is Annie Benjamin and I come from Vellore, Holy Angels Metric Higher Secondary School. I'm basically a nurse, passed out from CMC Vellore. I worked for 14 years in abroad. Then I came to a village to do school work. It was very challenging for me. The first problem I had was I didn't have quality teachers. So because I didn't have teacher, I myself started studying. So I took my MA English. Then I did my B.Ed with IGNU. And then I was struggling actually to teach English. But my son was also equally competent. He was in 6th grade, but he would help me out. So that was a lot way helping me, and somehow we managed to bring up to a certain level. But then as days went on, when we started higher secondary, 11th grade, I was noticing one boy coming and asking me for admission. I said, I cannot give. I saw all 35 marks in his grade column. So I said, I'm sorry. And I went up to my class. But from there, when I was looking, I saw his brother is scolding him. So I again came down and I called both of them and asked, why are you scolding your younger brother? So he said, Madam, I'm an engineer. I'm working in Bangalore. But look at my brother. He has scored so less. No school is giving him admission. He comes from a state board school. Then I had some sympathy. I said, okay, let me try. And I took him into 11th grade. But after the day he got admitted, I asked him to just read one paragraph. He doesn't know even one word. My God, that was a shock of my life. And I said, what is this? You don't know anything? And then how did you get even this basic mark? So I started praying literally, Lord, I need knowledge to teach this boy. And one fine day I'm seeing he himself started to pray, and slowly I started teaching him A, B, C, D with the phonetics, consonant, all these things I was teaching, and I was teaching him how to syllabify and read. Somehow he was speaking. But with lot of effort, I'm seeing this boy is not coming up to the level. So I told his brother, why don't you take him to a psychologist and assess? And then when he went there, they came to know that he had a mild MR. So I said, okay, now you call your mother and come. So I asked her, did you have any problem during pregnancy? Then the mother said, yes, I was having jaundice. I asked, did your baby cry as soon as he was born? Then she said, no, they had to give oxygen and then only. So then I picked up the problem was not after the delivery, it started prenatal. So then I realized that so any slow learner comes, I used to start taking the history of the mother. And most of them I found that they did have problem prenatally, either gestational diabetes or they had eclampsia or anything that was connected, or anemia. So the mother had the problem, and that was what was reflecting on the labor table for the baby. And these babies which are born with lack of oxygen, they are hypoxic and they are not able to study. But we have a general class where many of us don't have time to pick this kind of children. We always look to the good study and we keep pushing. But nobody really cares for the slow learners. And then came up the strategy, no, everybody should be passed. Okay, everybody passes, but 10th grade when you come, there are so many failures. But why? Why didn't you pick up a student when he was slow in his studies? Then change the pattern of teaching him. You cannot make him to cope up with a genius, gifted child. You have to give a separate class for him, give allotted teacher, and to that level only we can teach. I have a student who is in 4th standard, but he's only at the age of 1. His age is for the class of 4, but his IQ is only for 1st standard. He cannot talk. So these kind of children we often miss because we are overloaded with our syllabus, we are overloaded with our time and all these things. So one of the major role is we don't identify the basic problem in a child. If the teacher is good, if the student is good, obviously this child will be having a good outcome. There is no doubt about it. But either if the child is not able to study, he should be picked up and not to be competed with the others. He should definitely have a separate type of evaluation and make them also. So maybe in that only they brought up this FA and essay so that everybody can do something. He is not good in studies, he is good in art. He is not good in this, he is good in games. Yeah, like that also I have seen students who are doing very well in activities, but they are so poor in their academic. But we always see mark. This is what has spoiled actually. You know, many students commit suicide. Why? Just for 1 mark. For that also I wrote to my director, please don't give this mark system, because the whole year they are studying. And then maybe on the day she has a dysmenorrhea, she couldn't concentrate, and by that she loses 1 mark. That shouldn't ruin her whole life, which is psychologically she's upset. And many students, you see, if they are disturbed at home, has father and mother has a fight, and then what is the child going to write for next day for the exam? So these are social problems, mainly for the children in the family, maybe in their environment, and especially when you come to adolescent, peer group, boyfriends, girlfriends. So these are the things that can disturb the child as such. So here the teacher's role is very competent, not alone as a teacher, but also as a counselor.
Correct. Thank you, ma'am. So we had a lot of student side issues. Can you please reduce my little bit? Which is the one? Yeah. Can you reduce? So we have student-related challenges. So certain things are generic in the sense most students you observe that they are lethargic or they're not able to write or read, something like that. Specific cases are also there, as ma'am suggested. But generally, you know, what they say is there is a drastic change in the generation of learners what we have in our campuses. And once upon a time when we used to look at the generations, the time duration between one generation and other generation used to be very huge. But now they are telling once in every 15 years there is a change in generation. There is a huge shift. The way people look at things, the way people perceive, the way students, children learn, everything, the process, everything totally changes once in 15 years. This they said 2-3 years back. Now a recent study they are telling that this generation shift is happening once in 6 years. Okay, less than 6 years, this generation shift is happening. So that means, like in 2018 or 17, you would have seen one set of students, the way they learned, the way they behaved, the way they saw, they look at things is totally different from the current children whom we are currently teaching. So this is something which is totally out of our control. The learners are, the generation is totally changing. Okay. So having said that, a lot of questions raised focused on one side is the learner part. Having said that, can we define or can we picturize the current generation of students? What do they like or what do they don't like? Who's, yes sir? Okay, influenced by the peer group. Okay.
They are very restless.
Okay.
They want to change.
Okay.
After every 5-10 minutes, they need something change in their life.
Okay.
Because, and that's
Yes, it's on.
it's coming.
Attention span is
Unrest
reduced.
is there in this generation.
Sorry, sir?
Unrest.
Unrest.
And you know, daily we come across so many students who are coming with their peculiar type of problems, like, and they don't open up very quickly. Like if talk about myself, like I come across so many students daily. You really need to talk to them. We have counselor, full-time counselor in the school. Still, if they're close to you, they will open up. Otherwise, they won't.
So they value privacy.
Yes,
they don't
value
want
their
you.
privacy. They value their their friends a lot. If you want to take a subject, for example, grade 11th or 12th, they want to choose a subject. It is not because the parents have said.
Okay.
Because my friend has taken the subject.
Yes, sir.
Lots of things. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anyone else? Attention span. Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Padmanath. I am the principal of Meridian Public School. When it is with respect to the students, as you told, there is a difference of around every 6 years they change, or every 15 years it was changed. But that's practically very true. If you see this set of children, there's a lot of difference between the age groups of the teachers who are handling. Once upon a time, when we were being about to teach, we were not starting with the statement of aim of what we are teaching. Only at the higher education we were telling of what are the specific learning objectives. But in today's scenario, even the pre-KG child tends to ask, what are you going to teach me? If that is the case, when we are looking at the outcome-based education, it's better that we establish the ELOs. What are the expected learning outcomes? Or to be very clear with our specific learning outcomes. Because as you told, the 6 years change is there. These are very sharp enough to ask us for what are you going to teach us today.
Okay, so the
Specific
children are
learning outcome, they are very smart.
very smart.
So
Children.
we need to be very smarter in our this one. So we have developed this, or the curriculum is itself changed now.
Yes.
First of all, put out your the expected learning outcomes. So once your expected learning outcomes are very clear, then you can categorize it to what is called as must know, what is called desirable to know, and what's called nice to know.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, the problem what the speaker previous to us was telling about children of different categories are there. You can categorize them based on what is called must know. So this is the basic line where everybody has to touch the competency that they have to meet. Then can go to desirable to know, then can go to nice to know. People who are being blessed off, or who are called as very intelligent, or children who have got more grasping power, can touch to the third level also. So thereby, if you can adopt these, establish the clear the learning objectives in the beginning itself, I think maybe to a larger extent we can minimize, and then the outcomes
Yes,
also
sir.
can be visualized.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how to define the present new generation learners? Where is the pen drive? Connect it in my laptop. Yes, sir. Okay, so they want quick results. Quick results, sir. They don't. Okay, okay. There's a pen drive there in the.
I think that kind of answered the question. It is instant gratification. Anything that you do right now, you must get the results immediately. Even our lifestyles have changed. When we want something, we can just Amazon or Swiggy it, and it's there. But an 11-year-old girl takes a selfie of herself in front of the bathroom mirror every morning, and if she doesn't get 100 likes in the next 5 minutes, she goes into depression. Right? Nobody loves me, nobody likes me. So this is the instant gratification that the generation now needs.
Correct.
And somehow they're emotionally weak that way. We have to constantly gratify them in the classroom. I also in the classroom, hey, you're doing fine, you're doing great, looking good. Okay? And nothing that like we used to have when we were small. So sometimes the roughness, the toughness is missing, and we have to sometimes mollycoddle them just to keep the emotional quotient at a certain status quo.
Yeah.
In case there are some undesired effects.
So they require instant gratification, correct? Instant, yeah, sir.
I am Father Tony Marshall, the former principal of St. Anthony's Senior Secondary School, Guwahati. One of the issues that I find today is the students don't have competitive spirit. there is no competition. When I was a student in the school, I remember we used to compare who got the highest. There was 9 sections. We used to find out who got highest in Tamil, English, like that. We used to find out individually. But today, least bothered. They are not competent in anything properly. Neither they have competition. So there is no focus in them to excel in anything. And thus, any amount of motivation that you try to give them,
it's not working. Yeah. Okay, fine. So, yes, sir.
So, myself, Father Benny. I have been providing various opportunities for students to do activities under learning. So we have bagless days where students come together and do what they learn, the theory part. In groups they do. And we have field trips. Also similar programs, even our stage programs are managed, the selection process, everything is done by the students, class students. I find, okay, the so-called cognitive areas, study parts, these are also study parts, no doubt. And very active they are, very engaged. And I wonder, when we provide bagless day activities, they are involved not just with their hands. The complete body, emotions, expressions, everything is part of their learning. So I find very positive energy among them, especially these new gen students, very active in their learning. Fully engaged, especially in these activities. So I find so interesting.
Correct, Father. So let me, yes, Father. Yes, Father.
To add on to what Father Benny was saying, this morning somebody remarked about the principle of Kristu Jayanti. Is not, he said about there are 3 types of teachers. First set are the informers, second are the formators, and the third are the transformators. What Father Benny is saying is exactly that. How is that in his school, in his classroom? Well, it's because the teachers are so engaged, the students are so engaged, and they find joy in that. I mean, we have to go, today the students are the protagonists. They are the center, and they have to be engaged, given activities and all these things, which they get engaged and they learn out of that, and all the skills can be collected and formed into that. So
yes, Father. So the generation has changed. The new generation is one more thing I would like to add is they are digitally very strong. They are comfortable using devices and gadgets. Okay, so the research says that they are digitally very comfortable. They are born with technology. It's like that. Okay, so that's a new generation we have. The technology is very much advanced. Second thing, what the research says, they are fun lovers. What Father was telling, bagless day would be fun. Lot of togetherness, involvement, engagement. Bag day is boring, right? So this generation is fun loving. Okay, so that is the generation we have. Okay, we'll come to the other side. We are talking about the student side. Instant gratification. When Sir was telling individually that spirit of winning, or I have to score more marks, that is slightly, that spirit is lagging. But when you put them in a team, when Father Benny was telling, when you put them in a team, when they work in a group, even in college, higher education, we observe that when you give them an individual task, the level of engagement, and when you give them a group task, the level of engagement is totally different. That is a change, shift in this particular generation. So more than the individual activities, their learning will be more and their engagement will be more when they are engaged in a group activity. So that also research says that they are good at doing that. Another thing what the research says is they love variety. They get easily bored with routine things. They want variety, new things, excitement. They want only then they are energetic and they are this one. My cousin, not cousin, like my niece, in family prayer night we prayed. She's praying, God, tomorrow everything should be fun. School should be fun, house should be fun, play activity should be fun, everything should be fun. Amen. Fun lovers. Generation Alpha they call it. They are fun lovers. They want everything to be fun. Okay, so our education. Okay, now I'll come to the other question. Okay, so having defined this generation, digital by birth, or seek fun, value personalized learning, engage better when they are engaged in a group, Okay, they seek immediate feedback. This is the new generation which has got these characteristics. Having said that, what is their learning style? How do they learn? Or rather, how do we teach them? How do they learn? How do we deliver? Or we'll put it first this way, we'll still talk with the student side. How do they learn? What is the learning style which they treat it as a fun? Otherwise they are not going to learn. Activity based. Simply learning by doing, right? Activity based, where the engagement, we would have seen when you engage them in an activity, the learning levels are very high. Learning by doing. Okay, what else?
And also learning environment. Other than making them sitting all the time inside the classroom itself, we can take them outside.
Experiential learning. Okay, learning setting rather than the boring one beyond the walls. Correct. Yes. Yeah, learning style. Different senses. Sir? Technology based. Good, Father. Good, sir.
Education of the students.
Then
the students will learn very easily.
Okay.
We have to create the why, what, how.
Okay.
The thing we have to create.
Okay.
Then the students are ready to learn. Why? Because previously our families are united families are there. Now nuclear families are there. So that's why the children feel bored at home, father and mother and child. In the school they want to search for new things.
Yeah.
So that's why as a creators, as a administrators, as a principals or as a teachers, we have to give some challenges for learning to the children. Now 21st century, the dangerous invention is the mobile phone. So always due to pandemic, the students are adapted for this online education system, or parallelly they go for online games, etc.
Correct.
So that's why always they want new facts, entire facts in the world they know. In previous and older education system, we don't have such type of things.
Gadgets.
That's why always we are enjoying with the peer group or colleagues or family persons.
Correct.
So that's why the student should learn, update information. See, for example, morning Anil sir and Bharat sir told me, so in 1964 and 66, Kothari Commission gives some changes in education system. Then after 20 years approximately, 1986 new education policy came. Then we are all adopted new education policy. Our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Rajiv Gandhi introduced the CBS system in Navodaya education schools. Introduced +2, +1, +2. Previously we don't know +1, +2. Simply after 10, +2, intermediate. Then after 3, +3. That means graduation. So later now, present 2020 education policy. So this policy needs some time for adoption for all the public.
Yes, sir.
So, and morning sir told, our present generation is birthed with technology.
Correct.
But we are migrate with technology. So that's why it takes some time
Yes, sir.
for us.
Correct.
But our children are faster than us.
To adapt. Correct, sir. Correct.
So that's why the learning outcome based education is required to give the challenges, and we have to conduct different activities in the school campus. Celebrations of the festivals or celebrations of the important days to aware the children through experiential learning. Then only we will get good opportunities for.
Yes, sir. So learning, yes, sir. So learning styles. Thank you, sir. So the new generation, they learn more using visual means. Okay, so they are visual learners. They are called visual learners. So there is a model called WARC learning style. So visual learning, auditory learning, right? And then read and write is also there. We are not neglecting that read and writing is not there. Kinesthetic, what ma'am was telling, activity based learning by doing. So variety of learning to be used. Otherwise they are going to get bored. Okay, so yes ma'am. Yes ma'am. Correct. Yeah, I'm coming. Correct.
LKG, why even LKG from newborn? Without mobile, the child doesn't sleep, means the
Correct.
music.
Correct.
And as 1 year, they're all the time looking into that. Now the child has to speak. He doesn't know to say Appa, Amma or Dada, Baba. It's talking what that cartoon is talking. He is now 4 years. He doesn't know to talk.
Correct,
Why?
correct.
Because all the time seeing into this
Correct.
mobile. These
Correct, correct.
And
So here,
similarly, one more student who is in 8th standard
Correct.
of mine, she doesn't enter the classroom because
Correct.
she says, my imaginary friend must come with me to the classroom.
Correct, correct.
Unless she sits with me, I will not study.
Correct.
Suddenly she'll be beating, go away from me.
Those are
Very
correct.
difficult. So why should we insist for technology
Correct.
into
No,
children
no.
at this young
So
age?
when I say visual learners, we are not talking about only using the technology or this cartoons and things like that. Okay. So look at the primary kindergarten classroom. I don't know why, like kindergarten classroom, when you go, fully colorful, the classroom. Lot of color, different things are there. But the same student, when they come to the higher, why it is all white and this one? Like, why don't we continue that color and that theme? You put the pictures there. Why to see visual learners means I'm not telling that. I'll tell you one example. Visual learners. Now, area volume. Very difficult to differentiate what is area, what is volume. As a student, I'm telling you, and I had that difficulty. My maths teacher, I still remember. She brought one cylinder of some radius and some height. She brought a cone of same radius and same height. We all know that means 3 times the volume of cylinder is 3 times the volume of cone. No maths teacher will teach like that. Maths teacher will teach the volume of cone is 1/3 of volume of that is very difficult to visualize. Why don't you say that volume of cylinder is 3 times the volume of this one? They say the other way around, first of all. And we don't understand, first of all, volume, and how it is 3 times, nobody understands. She brought this, 2 containers. One is cylinder, one is cone. She brought one bowl of pebbles. And what she did was, she filled the cone with the pebbles, and once the cone is full, she poured it into the cylinder. And then again, she called another student, fill it. The third time when the child put it in the cylinder was full. It means the volume of cone is the volume of cylinder is 3 times the volume of cone. That my teacher taught, I still remember. Okay. So visuals doesn't mean that usage of technology. Something you bring it. Why are you putting it? Sin theta, cos theta, tan theta. Yo. Who can understand? I didn't understand. My grandfather used to be a math. He didn't study much, as sir was telling, that old system, 10th and then afterwards. He didn't study much, but I don't know how he learnt all these things. Then I went to my grandfather and asked, what is this sin theta, cos theta, trigonometry? So confusing. And teacher also doesn't know. I don't know whether they know it or whether they do not know how to convey it. I don't know. Another thing is, one major problem is the way my teacher taught me trigonometry, same way that teacher is teaching to but the learners are changed. We are new generation learners. Why should we teach that? My grandfather called me. There was a lamp post. Okay, he said, can you measure the height of this lamp post? I said, how? It's very tall. I am so much, only 3.5 feet at that time. How can I measure that? He said, okay, you stand here. Okay, I stand here. Post is there. Now, distance between the post and the point where you stand can be measured. This can be measured. The pole is standing at 90 degree. Yeah, standing at 90 degree. If in case you can find from this point to that post, if I draw imaginary line, if you can find this angle, with this angle and this width, this distance, you can, using your trigonometry, you can find the height of the pole. You don't have to measure it. What is this? My teacher didn't tell me that. She said ABC, one triangle is there. Sin theta is equal to this. It was nice. He said, okay, now look at the moon there. Yeah, very nice. What is the distance from Earth to moon? It is known already. We know that. Okay, from the moon, there is Jupiter there. Do you see? That is Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter. Can you find the distance between moon and the Jupiter? How can I find? I am in Earth. How do you find the distance between moon and Jupiter? You don't have to go there and measure. You are standing in Earth. You know where is moon. It is 90 degree. okay, you know where is Jupiter. If you can find this angle, if you draw imaginary line from Jupiter, you find this angle. With this angle and this distance between Earth and the Moon, you can calculate how far Jupiter is from Moon. You can also find how far Jupiter is from Earth. These are also visuals only. Can you put a diagram, picture, and then teach trigonometry? They will love trigonometry, right? How many of us learn trigonometry? How many of us love trigonometry? There's another topic is there, algebra. X square 4, x power 4. Where do you use algebra? Where do you use algebra in life? Now, understand this new generation of learners, unless they are convinced that what they are learning is going to be useful, they are not going to show any interest. They are not going to show any interest. Okay, so the generations have changed. It means their learning style have changed. It means our teaching style should also change. That's why OB says it's a learner-centered. So so that's why OB, ma'am. But yeah, OB has got 3 pillars. One is curriculum, another one is curriculum, assessment, teaching methods. Okay, earlier they used to say input, process, output. Father was also highlighting input, output. Now they are telling this one, curriculum, teaching methodology, and assessment. Okay, now the teaching methodology we do, as Father Benny was telling, new methods we are continuously implementing, but the curriculum we don't have the liberty to touch. But how in OB in true sense, the curriculum should be defined in terms of what the student should be able to demonstrate at the end of the learning experience. That is the first point. That is not happening. I know that there are difficulties. Ma'am was telling, should we recommend this to board? If you are the right person, you should do it. Otherwise, things are not going to change. The second thing is teaching methodology. How the delivery happens is within our control. We can train our teachers. We can make them understand. We can make them, may I come to that. The third part is the assessment. Whatever you teach, whatever innovative methods you teach, experiential learning, activity based, inquiry based learning, whatever, final assessment is examination. Sit in the hall and write for 3 years. Ma'am was telling, ma'am, I am good in dancing. Oh, you are good in dancing? Go to this exam hall, write for 3 years. Ma'am, I am good in singing. You are good in singing? Go to this exam hall, write for 3 years. 3 hours. Okay? Whatever the boy is good at. See, now gone are those days, as somebody sir was telling, one student, he may not be good in studying or learning and things like that, but he might be good in other things, sports or other things. Now this generation, if you force them that 9 to 4:30 you have to be in the classroom, you learn this, they are going to get bored. They'll say this, ma'am, boring ma'am. They'll say this. When we were taught, we were doing that, no? Ma'am will say, 9 to 4:30 you are not supposed to leave, all these things will be there. But now they need fun, variety. Okay? So that kind of forceful environment is not fitting them. So assessment, again, assessment, do we have control to change, ma'am? We don't have. So we have structural issues also. But if in case you are in a right position, obviously we can recommend all these things. Curriculum should be learner-centered. Assessment also should be learner-centered and learning-centered. I learn something, but you assess me with something. OB says that there should be an alignment between what I teach, curriculum, how I teach, and how I assess. All this should be in a alignment. Otherwise, there will be lot of disparity will be there.
So one intervention
yes,
I want to make on the changes that are proposed in the assessment. Are we aware of the changes proposed in the assessment? We are saying that we are implementing NEP and we are implementing OBE, then we are also expected to implement the changes that are proposed in the assessment. If you give me 30 seconds, this is the National Curriculum Framework released, and it says in the foundation stage, the assessment should be in the form of qualitative observations by teacher. So that means between classes of 3 and 8, there is the proposed change for grade 1 and grade 2. Worksheets should be one of the primary methods of assessment. So changes are going to happen. How fast you are going to implement in your school is the question.
Yeah.
So we just because one attitude that I feel as an educator of current times that we need to do away with is either blame the student nor the system. Sorry, Joseph sir. We as an educationist have always been putting burden on the teacher and the methodology only. Always it's about teaching method. Something is wrong in the classroom, teacher is not good. Student is not getting mark, teacher is not good. Student is not performing well, student is having lack of attention, or teacher is not great. If I go there, see how well they are performing. If I take. So we always keep the acceptance of our teachers at a very low pace. We always don't give the recognition the teacher deserves. So then if the assessment is carried out by the same teacher with the standard that you are setting, with the rubrics that you are coming up, and you give the support to the teacher, then the learning atmosphere would change. So is the B.Ed curriculum teaching the teacher only about teaching learning methods or also about assessment? So I feel it's time for all of us to look at the changes or reforms that we need to do in the assessment section.
What about parents' acceptance?
Ma'am, its parents are only concerned about whether the child gets the final score or not. And please see the results of the current generation. Earlier there used to be 1 or 2% getting 99 or 100. But now it is like the number of children getting 99 and 100 or more, and when they listen to you, they will be shocked that they are lazy, they are not smart, they have become inactive after COVID, they are distracted by phone. But I get 92. Why are you blaming? So that is why I am saying that if whatever assessment changes that you are making, we should engage all the stakeholders into making the changes in the assessment.
So there's one saying that it says that
Till that is done, we cannot say that we have implemented OBE in the truest form. So we can't blame the policy. It is the discretion of us how we are implementing the policy into in my school. Since ma'am is from health background, she is correlating health and the medical issue of the child with the education and performance. So if all of us are from, if you are from different background, you would find another analysis. A mathematician will always look at the issue in maths angle. So that's what we are trying to say is assessment part what requires our collective intervention. So if there are 120 teachers present here, and if you all are going to make one change in one assessment that you are doing, then you are beginning the change.
Can I add one point?
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding teachers, now they conduct MRB exam or TRB, Teachers Recruitment Board. Teachers are working very hard, studying, they all pass. Now once they pass, they start putting into the schools. Now what happens, all those who have studied in English medium, metric board and CBSEs, I don't know, but TRBs, they are posted to the government school where they have to teach in Tamil. Now those who are learning in Tamil medium, they come to the English medium school. Now what happens, the teacher itself is a learner because she has to sit and prepare the class to teach the student. How will there be an effective learning? Major problem is this.
A teacher.
Because they have to translate everything. Look at for this NEET exam. All the students sitting and studying in Tamil medium. Okay, Tamil medium students waiting for that 7.5. They have so many incentives from the government. This is only I'm talking about Tamil Nadu. I don't know about other states. Now, I used to feel so bad. They are sitting and studying day and night, sleeping 3 hours only. And I used to say, what are you studying? In Tamil. I am so sorry, I don't know Tamil. I can't explain, but I would have taught you very well if it was in English. Now, they all have written the exam. Now, when they pass, they come back. And what are they going to study in? English. What is the, I don't understand the value, why they are wasting the students' life like this. No, you are wanting to do medicine, give them all want to do medicine, go for your aspiration, go. have 1 year of learning, pre-medical class you give them, pre-medical school. Go and visit hospitals. See what are the problems. Are you able to face it? After that you come and do your NEET exam. It makes sense. Yes, I can tolerate one operation. I can go for this. Really, I have a very big problem in this education policy, sir.
Yes, yes.
I'm not at all for it. Because we are giving more and more pressure to the students and teachers, see, who have language barrier. So it's very difficult, because even in the college we should start from ABCD because they will write an English exam. Although they study in Tamil medium, when they come for higher education, it's English.
No, if we speak about the education system that has got...
It's a big collapse, sir.
Let us not go there. Lot of things are there. Okay, if we go there, then we'll be diverting totally. I know, we understand. Yes, ma'am. No.
Hello, friends. From listening to all, what we need to do, as Sir was telling this morning, we need to develop those core competencies so that the jobs that are not available today, they will be competent, they will be creative, they will be able to collaborate. So that core competency skills that they mentioned, the curiosity building skills, the collaborative skills. Today everything is in competence. Find out the competence, the ability of the students. So that we teachers have to play a great role. It is not whether we are as good as yesterday. When I reached the school for the first time as a young principal, they said, "Father, I have been teaching for 38 years here. What are you? You are just a young principal." I told her, "Ma'am, it is not whether we are as good as yesterday, but whether we are as good as today." For today's students they need your help. So there we have to play the role, and we cannot keep on blaming the system, whether it is the government or the students or the teachers, be the stakeholders. I used to say one word: the school is as good as the principal. The class is as good as the class teacher. And the class monitors, or maths will be as good as the maths teacher. Football or cricket will be as good as the cricket teacher, the coach. So we have to motivate, empower our teachers, our principals in our, because I am in Don Bosco, where we have got 264 schools in India. And our job is to make sure that every teacher, every principal, every teacher, every subject teacher, every, the physical education teacher, sports teacher, they perform the best, and our students will be prepared to face any challenges of this world.
Yes, Father, thank you. So the education system has got plus and minus. We are not going to discuss there. So what we are discussing was the learning style and the teaching style. Okay, ma'am, I'll come to you. Ma'am, I'll come to you, please. Okay. So look at this. This guy, a carpenter, correct? Why so many things he is carrying? Why can't he carry only this one? Yeah. Different purpose. For different purpose he has got different tools. But look at our teachers. When they go to the classroom, what tool they have? Only blackboard and teaching, right? Lecture, talk and talk we may call. Correct? But we have different, in one course itself we have different topics. Okay, we can encourage our teachers to look at that. How can I put this using a different method? Once again I'll quote my grandfather, sorry. He said one day, 3 into 2, how much? 6. How do you know that 3 into 2, 6? Prove it. Then we know that our teachers would have given addition. My grandfather told, bring me a graph sheet. I took him and gave him a graph sheet. So he said, you take 2 here, 2 bars. You take 3 in the x-axis. You take 2 in the y-axis, 3 in the x-axis. Now count in total how many bars are there. 6 was there. Hence proved. Okay. So this is visual. Why should we teach the old way? How my teacher taught me, same way why should I teach? So teachers can use multiple things. So there is a change is required in the delivery part. Also in the assessment part, we need to make the changes. And the outcome should be defined in terms of what the student is going to learn. But how we are measuring outcome in terms of what marks they are scoring. Second thing is, when you do an activity, you make the student to do something. Okay, you make the student to do something. He has already done it. Why do you again take him to the exam hall? Assessment is over during that particular activity itself. He is able to do. Why are you checking him whether he is able to write? He might be good in doing, but he may not be good at writing. Why should you do that assessment? Sir, ma'am? Attention span, ma'am was speaking. Goldfish has an attention span of 9 seconds. People are having attention span less than 12 seconds. Even goldfish has got 9 seconds average attention span. Okay. Rote learning. Why students are doing rote learning? Because the assessment is through marks. They are getting into what is called as a rote loop. What is that? Prepare, learn, write exam, forget it. That's why they forget it. They study only for marks because you reward them only by marks. Can we have a different reward system? Then the learning will automatically change. There's one famous educationist said that assessment drives learning. The way you assess, now we are giving marks. That's why they are looking at marks. That is the only reward. Look at the online learning platforms. Small courses. One small video will be there, one assessment will be there. My daughter was doing one assessment. She'll complete that assessment 90%, 100%. Then some color papers will flow away, crackers will burst, sound will be there, clapping sound will come, then one certificate will come. Jaslyn has completed this course successfully. She is certified in that. Daddy, I got a certification. Oh, great. Immediate. But when do you give our recognition reward? End of the year. But the learners require, as sir said, instant gratification, immediate. I want immediate reward. I post something, I want people to like. That's what thing. And we should make the students to do and then we like it. I said not to schools, one college I said, why don't we do that? Ask the students to do their project, post it in Instagram. Why? They are posting all sorts of things in Instagram. I post to, I have learned. I teach my MBA students one tool called Tableau, data visualization. I told them after you learning, you put it on Instagram. I have learned Tableau. Put it. Why are you putting all other stuff? Okay, you go in their way itself and let the learning happen. Okay, so assessment, curriculum, learning. All three has to change in order to bring the change. I'll just conclude. We are running out of time. Look at this one, Alona. Look at this question. What we teach, find the area of hexagon. Look at this question. In Olympiad, this was asked. For area of hexagon, read the question. Two identical squares. Here, what we teach we teach how to find the area of hexagon. In the assessment, they are putting two squares. Do you see the hexagon there? There is a hexagon there. We don't see it. How will the child now see this? And then to calculate hexagon area, and then to give the answer. Okay, so it's like that. So Einstein would say, education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. I'm not going through this. We all know this. So I'll conclude here. What I teach, how I assess, all should be in alignment. And whatever I do in the class, it should be measurable, as ma'am was quoting the SMART principles. Who can do this? We are the educationalist, and we can bring the right change that is required for the present generation and also for the future generation. A good education can change anyone. A good teacher can change everything. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any concluding remarks from you all? Is there anybody who has not spoken for more than 1 hour would like to say something now? There are a lot of young educators here who have not said a word. Done? Over to Ruth. Thank you.
Check. With a brimming heart of gratitude, I thank all the moderators for this insightful flow of discussion. We thank for the Dr. John for his expertise, word of wisdom, Professor Ramya and Dr. Joseph for this significant contribution. Finally, I thank our esteemed participants for making this session interactive and resourceful. I call upon Dr. Mary Jacob to give the general instruction.
Hope the previous session was very fruitful, because I just entered to the end and I found very energetic discussion and vibrant faces. So I hope it was very fruitful, the last session. And moving on to the plan for today, we will break for tea. We'll break for tea. Yes? Is it too early? Okay. So we break for tea and we will maybe relax for another 15 minutes. That's okay. And by 4 o'clock, I think nearly 20 minutes we have to relax. So 4 o'clock we will move for the campus tour. A few of you would have visited Kristu Jayanti years back. Few of you are first timers here. So the campus tour is being arranged with that in mind. And we will create groups so that it is not a big crowd that we move around. Okay, so we'll divide into groups and then we will go on for the campus tour. It would be great if somebody is not joining for the campus tour, if you can just raise your hand so that we can arrange the groups according to that. So is it that all of you are joining? Kristu Jayanti CMI Public School? You're not joining? Yes, no?
No.
No. There are a few there discussing, that is why. You're joining? The last? All of? No, okay. Fine. And tomorrow there is, okay, today, so after the campus tour, then 6 o'clock we have arranged a little relaxation so that we enjoy a little bit of song and music and little of dance, little of skit, so that we are also relaxed for the day. Okay, so that is the plan that we have today. It will be at 6 to 7. So once we finish the campus tour, maybe we'll have little time here and there. If you want to go back to your room, come back, or you want to take some beautiful greenery pictures around, it's your free time. Okay, so 6 o'clock, assemble back in the lobby down so that we can guide you to the Jubilee. In case if you miss, you are late maybe by 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so, please move on to 6th floor. Okay, 6th floor, Jubilee Auditorium. We'll have the cultural programs arranged for exclusively for all of you. And with that, we finish today's schedule and we break for dinner by after the cultural 7:30, 7:45. We will have our dinner. Okay, so that's the plan for today. And tomorrow we have the city tour. So how many of you are going to join us for the city tour? Because we have to do the arrangements based on that. If I can quickly have your hands up for some time, I require the students, one of you to count the left and one of you to count the other side. Just walk and take a count so that it's easy for us. We give you a little time of shopping, 1 or 2 places also we will plan accordingly where we can go. So that is what we have in mind. You have taken account? Okay. Places should be Vidhana Sauda is what we are trying. That is something that you can see. Then MG Road, Shivaji Nagar, there's a Basilica. There's little problem with the parking, so we will try to our best. And then Commercial Street, we will give you for shopping. So that is the plan that we have as of now. So accordingly, we can arrange the buses. That's the reason. Okay. You have taken? Okay. So that's all from my side that I need to convey. So thank you. So you can go to pantry hall. Anything?